Good morning. It's 10 a.m. on Friday morning. Red Friday Morning Caffeine is live on Facebook, on the Dave Glovin profile, and on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. We're live over there. We'll give it a minute over here. Okay, sometimes you have to wait an extra minute for it to get to Facebook. So let me try that, see if we're there now. We are there now. Now what we'll do is one more quick thing. We're in there. And come on. Nope. All right, that monitor's not going to work. All right, so we'll go to the backup monitor for the Boogie with the Bull live chat on the Dave Glovin profile. I'll still be able to see you. We're going to have fun. It's Friday morning. It's Red Friday. I'm wearing a red shirt. I forgot. Is Randy wearing a red shirt? I couldn't tell.
Yes.
All right. Randy
Yes,
is
I
wearing a
am.
red shirt. We wear red because red is remember everyone deployed, RED Friday. And we take a moment or several moments throughout the day to remember everyone who is deployed right now outside of the United States of America, defending our honor and our interests, and also everyone who is deployed in the United States. Bill Muckler started reminding us that if you're serving in the United States, you are basically deployed in the United States, and you deserve the same well wishes that we give everyone else. Matter of fact, if you're watching and you're in the military, you're more than welcome to come on and join us for the Red Friday portion. Tell us who you are, where you serve, what you do, and if you want, and then you're allowed to. And we will be very happy to do that and include that in the program. Anyway, we're going to move along. It's a rinse, a wash, rinse, repeat, or a regurgitation, whatever you want to call it. I thought about this last night. It's not so much rinse, wash, repeat, or regurgitation, because sometimes we just have to pound it into you, meaning say it and say it and say it and say it and say it, and hope that you finally hear it and it clicks in your brain, and then you start thinking for yourself. Because I'm not here to tell you how to think. Uh, it's probably obvious if you listen to me and you hear my commentary on things how I think, but you're not required to think the same way I do, or the same way Randy does, or the same way Jen does, or William Rayfield if he's with us, or even Michael Anthony. You need to hear what we are talking about, what we are telling you, and then you need to decide for yourself what you think and what you want to do about it. And to William, who joined the Freedom Fighter group and posted a message in there asking basically, is this a group trying to find 1,000 people to form, I'm assuming, a militia? He didn't come out in those exact words, but William, if that's what you're asking, I know enough people around the country that are militia types, and I will put you in contact with them if that's what you're asking. So go back to the Freedom Fighter group, go to that post, and if that's what you're asking, I will find people that can
Hold,
help.
hold on.
Go ahead, Rick.
I caught part of the conversation. A militia.
There was a post. I did a post yesterday trying to grow members in one of our groups called Freedom Fighter. John Johnson started the group. He's a group owner that I'm working with, and his definition of freedom fighter was a MAGA person, a Trump supporter, who is doing everything they can to help President Trump fight and protect and serve our freedoms. One of the group members, William, responded, I guess from the point of view of wondering if maybe I was asking for 1,000 members of a group who are militia types and want to form militias. That was not my intention. My intention in the post was to help grow our group, but in being an admin, sometimes you have to serve different factions of your group. So if that is what people are looking for,
okay, I gotcha.
I know people throughout the United States. Let me finish. I know people throughout the United States that I don't mean this in any derogatory way, that are militia types and have formed militias and are ready to rock and roll if something happens. And William, if that's what you're looking for, I will put you in contact with those people. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the worse this gets before the November election and possibly after the November election and after January 25th, when President Trump is inaugurated again, citizens of the United States, some citizens might be looking to exercise their whatever it says, if it says it in the Constitution or whatever it says wherever, that you have a right to protect yourself and your family. It may be necessary for those people to activate if they haven't activated already.
Okay, as far as militias, okay, I can give you this information. The folks in the South, who still cling to the Confederacy of the Civil War, they have different groups that are still very active. And I'm not sure what state you live in, or if you side with the northern states as far as the Civil War with the southern states. But if you're looking for a militia, they definitely have them. Okay,
right.
They're broken up into different groups. One's called the SIA, Southern Independence of America. Their sole force is to turn over the government through political maneuvering. So they'll openly support financially, boots on the ground as far as going door to door to get the election for pro-Southern, pro-separatist, pro-secession congressmen and senators. And for those who are against the South, they do their best to get the people out there to vote against them. Then you have the SCV.
This is simply an open invitation to, it's in my case, I'm simply saying that if you live in the North and you are interested in militias and that's what you read into that post in the Freedom Fighter group, I'll help you find those groups. If you live in the East, I'll help you. If you live in the South, I'll try to help you. If you live out West or Midwest, I'll try to help you as well. It's not a question as to whether or not I think those groups need to activate. It just sounded like that's what he was asking. The thing that confused me is that he claims to be a digital creator from England. So I don't know how getting involved with militia groups in the United States is going to help him. And I hear more and more over in England that it's either happening or people are afraid that it's going to happen, like it was happening with Jack Alexander over in Australia, that the authorities will knock on your door and look for, if you're talking about things like this, bad things like
the government
will shut you down, or they will fine you substantially and then shut you down. So all I'm saying is we have different factions of interest in all of our, I don't know, right now it's probably 100 groups that I'm an admin, plus groups that I own, and I'm an admin. And it just kind of struck me when I read it at about 2:00 this morning, I think, that may be what he was asking for. So
the sons of the Confederate veterans, they're the militia, they're the military arm, they're the ones with the guns, the bunkers, the ammunition, and the training to overthrow by force the government if necessary.
Right.
People in other countries, like in England, there's a lot of people in England who openly support the Confederacy. If you go to the Southern groups, you'll find profiles of people from England, from Ireland, from other countries. So just because you're in a different country doesn't mean you can't become actively involved
it doesn't mean anything.
with the Southern.
It was just me trying to.
But I'm just saying that
throw something out and see if I understand what people responded to me. I don't know now that obviously Meta, Facebook, and Google, YouTube have heard me say that on Boogie with the Bull broadcasting and our groups on Facebook and our broadcasts over on YouTube that I'm willing to help people looking for those groups. That's another thing that I got to look into the camera and say, hey, because I said it today, this broadcast may not be on Facebook when we're done. This broadcast may not be on YouTube when we're done. And it doesn't matter if we share it from anywhere else, because if you share it from YouTube to someplace else and YouTube deletes it, it's gone. If we share it from Facebook someplace else, it's gone. And or I may be gone. So it's just, like I said, it's someone in a group. I seem to be asking a question that I'm not 100% sure. So I'm just threw it out and said, hey, if that's what you people want, then make sure you let I have to stop and take a breath for a moment. Had cognitive therapy yesterday and explained the loss of words. In a little bit of trouble trying to find them again. So I'll take a deep breath and say that if that is what people in a group are looking for, that is what the admins and moderators at arms will do to see if we can't help. If we can't help, then we will make sure we post in the groups that we can't help. How it incorporates itself into the broadcast. There are people that we've had on before. I won't mention names now. I probably could mention names that support this idea, and we could do broadcasts with people that might help others try to get an idea of what you need if you don't have things stocked already and what you need to be ready for. Because of the shot heard around the world on Saturday, it's a completely different world. And just because it happened to President Trump, don't you dare, if you're a Democrat, take your eyes off of this and think it couldn't happen to President Joe Biden, or it couldn't happen to Barack Obama, or it couldn't happen to anybody on their side who might be somewhat equal to President Trump. No one on their side is equal to President Trump, but just understand what I'm saying, that someone running around the country talking about what they want to do with the United States and what their party wants to do with the United States is probably just as likely a target as President Trump was. Also, it's hard to say this because I would have been at home watching it and be in the safety of my home with, our canine chihuahua, our canine our canine cat, 5 other dogs, people who love and take care of me, and I love and take care of them. But I said a few times in the last month or so, it's going to get ugly. It's not going to get ugly. It got ugly. Anyway, I'm starting to talk too much like other people do on other broadcasts, and they'll give other people a chance to talk. So, Randy, please chime in with your version of what I'm trying to say or what you're trying to say.
Well, I'll just end it like this. I don't think Facebook's going to shut you down for your comments about the militia. If that's the case, then that's pretty sad. But if we need, William, we need to, either private message, you need to tell us what you're looking for as far as militia, because militia comes in different varieties of the definition. So before Dave or I open our mouths and get slapped by Facebook or the three-digit, three-letter alphabet on our doorstep, you need to tell us what you're looking for. We can tell you if we can help you and direct you. Now, having said all that, a Russian commander in the Ukrainian army battle was shot by his own men. There's 11 men in his outfit, and they found the commander with 11 bullets in him. So they each took a shot, so that neither one of them could be blamed for the death of their commanding officer.
Do we know who do they know who the 11 men? I mean, was it the commander of those 11 men?
Correct. Yes.
So they know who they are, and if they're not dead already, they got.
Yeah, well, that's the weird thing. Why kill your commander? And then the one soldier actually called his dad and said, "Dad, we did something very terrible. We shot and killed our commanding officer." And then now you have the whole situation. Now that did they know who it? Here's I got the article here.
Did it say why they did it? That's what I.
Okay, so a Russian unit commander fighting Ukraine has reportedly been shot by his own men, according to a phone call intercepted by Ukraine's military intelligence. So the Ukrainian military officers intercept the phone call from one of the soldiers back. Dad, we killed our commanding officer. This is weird because he said the Russian soldier told his father, our commander was killed, a good commander. He took pity on everyone. 11 bullets, Dad. When questioned about who was responsible, the soldier replied, the officer said they shot him. That was it. No questions. 11 bullet wounds. He was riddled with holes. So it doesn't say who the commanding officer was, but he was a commander of a helicopter outfit. So imagine pretty important person. Yeah. And I'm going to assume the soldiers who shot their commanding officers are going to wind up in the gulag, if not, even worse.
Or dead, or not make it to the gulag.
So apparently, some of the complaints were that the soldiers have been in combat for 2 years without any type of relief. He said, soon we'll gather a crowd and head towards Russia. So it sounds like some of the Russian soldiers are going to start turning tails and fighting against Russia itself. So Putin get himself squared away here pretty soon. I guess last night at the RNC, Melania Trump broke tradition. I guess tradition is that the wife of the nominee is supposed to say a few words to the.
I think she introduces him.
Right. Well, she didn't. She walked right to her seat and sat down and did nothing.
Yeah. I think it's like I said. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think it's like I said. I think she's doing her best to not go off publicly. The phone call, the phone conversation, or the actual in-person conversation they had, where she basically just said, Donald, you have 5 or 6 children. I can't remember, but you have 5 or 6 children. Your youngest son just graduated high school. He's going off into the world. You have grandchildren. You have me. You have other wives that had children with you. Michael Anthony supposedly said there's one that we don't even know about yet. But my point is that she's going to tell him, you're done. It's done. You just can't do this anymore. And, the question will be whether or not he listens or assures her that this was the freak time, but you can't assure your family on that. The
way I envision that conversation going is, first off, she saw on TV live almost the loss of her husband.
Yep.
Okay. First off, I'm going to assume she really loves him. But I guess the first thought was, damn, I almost became a rich woman.
Well,
No, but
I'm not going to get
I'm
into.
being,
I know,
being
but
funny.
I'm not going to get into whether or not there's a
But
prenup, there's all this money, there's all that money.
But what I'm getting to is she's probably going to say to him, look, if it happens again and you miss the bullet a second time, or if the Democrats get involved and they steal the election, that's it, Donald. You're done. Get out of politics. So this is probably going to be the last chance that he has to become president. I think that she's going to turn against him if he doesn't, back away if things go wrong this time as well. And I can't blame her for that,
Right. And, now over on the Democrat side, it's probably something different because, I'm not going to put ideas in anyone's head, but if all of a sudden something happened on the other side and, we were kind of joking yesterday about COVID maybe being the thing that removed.
I don't think he has COVID. He's not walking around wearing a mask like he's supposed to.
Well, we don't know where he is either. I mean, he's probably not at the White House. He's probably either hiding at Camp David or hiding somewhere where he is safe. And while they plot whatever they're doing behind him, but it's just crazy. I mean, I never thought that I would go through and see. I mean, I was alive when Kennedy got shot, but and probably watching it on TV, didn't understand any idea of what was happening. But we hope to go through life never seeing it happen.
The only thing I remember of the Kennedy assassination as a child was that you remember back in the day, the Sunday newspaper was a huge, it weighs like 20 pounds of paper. Well, in that newspaper,
which 15 pounds was inserts and.
But was they like a 12 by 14? I think a huge picture of Kennedy, beautiful print of Kennedy to celebrate his life. And I remember my mom taking that picture out and putting it into a frame and putting it on the wall right away.
Yep. Now I know you collect some of the Southern issue Life magazines back when Life was like 11 by 200, the big, the big huge issue. Do you have in your collection the Kennedy issue or?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Don't let it go, and I don't say that because it's probably worth a bunch of green that one day someone's going to come up and hand you such a brand new big new green deal that you're gonna think for a second. Don't ever let it go.
No.
Because one day you're going to sit down with your son and your grandson, and when your son tries to explain it to your grandson, because he's going to have to explain what happened with President Trump.
But that's the sad thing about this whole situation. My family, my wife included, has absolutely no similar love for history like I do. They don't care, and that's sad. I tried to show pictures to my grandsons of their great grandparents and so forth. Yep. They don't care. And it boils down to is how the parents are teaching them. So if the parents aren't teaching them to love and respect your history, it's lost on them.
If you could take it and make it a video game,
yeah, exactly,
equating it to Fortnite or Call of Duty, and it was your family they would sit there for hours because
Oh yeah.
then it's real to them because they've got that joystick or that controller in their hand, and they're trying to save their family, and that's the sad.
Wow, that's
That that's
wow.
the sad thing.
That's a great idea for
You know,
a product.
that's
Yeah.
it is. That's the sad thing, that because they're not teaching it in school anymore, they're indoctrinating people in the public schools and everything other than what happened, and hoping to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Because I guess in their world it doesn't happen. I mean, I really would like to ask uh, Secretary of Education in D.C. You're not teaching this probably because you don't want to teach it. You don't want school kids to understand what happened. And I understand. I mean, you don't want kindergartners to understand and deal with this because you want them to be happy and come in and do what kindergartners do. But college level kids, yeah, I was wanting to teach 2 classes: experimental philosophy and controversial theory. And they were both basically just covers for creative writing. Because each day I would have said when you came in, today's topic is you got to write a page and a half in the class time. And then at the next class time, each of you are going to read them. And I'm even going to read mine. And it's not to grade anybody on their style of writing or anything or what they wrote. We're all just going to read them to each other. And hopefully, like I said, just learn how we each saw this. But I cut you off in midstream, which I am not supposed to do, but I did. But so I'm going to give you the stream back.
That's okay. Yeah, but anyways, family history being family history, it's important. We have to never lose touch with it. It means so much. I mean, look at what almost just happened to Trump's family. They almost lost their father, their husband, their grandfather, their father-in-law, because of some idiot. Because the people on the left are bad-mouthing Trump and painting him in a picture of being this meanie, this Adolf Hitler type person, which he's not. And that's all. And I was saying for months before that happened that's all it's going to take is for some person to who has a mind issue that all has to do is see, oh, so they don't like him, so I'm going to make them happy. I'm going to take him out, and I'm going to do this. You don't know who the hell is watching your TV or your videos or whatever, and you don't know how it's going to affect them. So you really have to.
I don't.
So you really
well,
have
I always say, and no one takes me up on it because I don't know why, but they don't. If you hear me say something, if you hear Randy say something, hear Jen say something, even if you're watching somebody else's broadcast and you hear them say something and you don't like or don't agree with what they said, don't come here just to rip them up, but come here and explain. Let's have a conversation. If Randy says, I don't like people who don't want me to have this flag up on the wall, or, I don't like people who don't want me to think this particular thing. Come here and let's talk, because it isn't that I don't care. It is, I care what you have to say. I keep trying to say we did something different with what we do on Boogie with the Bull. We don't want to come here and just every day just keep saying it's this, it's that, it's this way, it's that way, this is what's going on. I want you to hear all of that, start thinking. And I'm going to say it again. You don't have to be a broadcaster to come on to one of the broadcasts and take some time and tell everybody watching what you think. I mean, the StreamYard link walks you right through how to set it up. It might take you 15 minutes to set it up, but it walks you through how to set it up. You come on in. I'm not going to bite you. You're not going to bite me. And if you want me to bite you, I'm going to charge you extra. But we started this, and I say we because Randy's a part of it, Jen's a part of it, William Rayfield has been part of it at times, Michael Anthony has been part of it at times, other people have been part of it at times. We started this because we wanted to hear what everybody, I hate to use this word at our level, but everybody at our level, we want to get the word out. Bongino's always going to have a full narrative that's going to fill all the time and sell all the advertising spaces. And I don't want to get him mad because I don't want him to come here and think that I'm mad at him. I'm not mad at him. But, there's only so much time to cover so much stuff in a broadcast, and you can't bring people in. I don't really care. We have an hour and a half most of the time, or up to an hour and a half most of the time, and we want to hear what you have to say. Just like we've got all these groups all over Facebook. We want to hear what you have to say. Especially you people in the South, okay? Because I think you people in the South need to gather around Randy Rhodes, because Randy has done something that bothers me for as long as I have known him. He'll drop his conservative flag from his screen every once in a while because someone says you can't have that on your broadcast. Too bad. You don't want to see the conservative flag on Randy's broadcast. Either don't watch Randy's broadcast or don't look at the conservative flag. Pay attention to Randy. But anyway, go ahead, Randy.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. Hopefully sooner rather than later, I'm going to be having a 200th Regiment Pennsylvania flag behind me because that's where my great grandfather fought for them.
Yeah.
But so getting back into the news, did you see where scientists have just discovered a brand new continent?
You said, you said yesterday, while we were having yesterday's technical snafus, you said something about the guy, I guess, that found 8 miles of stuff under his house. And I jokingly said, I hope he collected the property tax for all the time that stuff has been under him. But it's got to be amazing, especially if, like, you made it sound like he was able to walk down the stairs into it and go through it.
So the video, okay, now you gotta get the information correct. Okay. So it's in Turkey, and the news people showed this video of him actually doing this. Okay, he was trying to expand a room in his house. Now they don't give the location of this guy's house for obvious reasons, but the video shows the guy with a sledgehammer breaking down the wall. And when he breaks through the wall, which would be mostly of like that powdery stone that most desert homes are built out of.
Plaster.
That could be. But when he broke through it, it opens up into this huge construction of open. Oh, it's almost like have you ever seen a cutout of an ant's colony, right? Yeah. Where you have all the little paths and they all go into a room for like the toilet and their food and their storage and the dead ants and so forth. Well, that's how this construction, by whom they don't know yet. Okay, they're thinking it's supernatural people, but the officials came in. They walked it from end to end. It's 8 miles wide. It's capable of housing over 20,000 people, plus their livestock. Okay, And then you have to read the article, but it goes into detail as to what this all was done for. But just recently, they've also just found a brand new continent that's underwater. But the scientists have found this lost continent. It's near the Davis Strait, which is a large stretch of water located between Canada and Greenland. Okay. But it's underwater. But it used to be a above water continent that had living creatures on. It's just amazing. I love stuff like this because it's just as amazing to learn about your family history as it is to learn about the history of our world. And they're finding bones of horses that were used by the Romans to go into combat. They're finding Roman soldiers. They're finding soldiers' bodies in England that were there when they first invaded England.
I mean, there is so much stuff out there. I want to know about the pyramids. I really do. I mean, for all the time I say that I want to know about it, I should actually start reading and start sharing what I find. I mean, I've said everything from I don't believe that there's any way that human bodies got those stones moved from where they were to stacking them and making a pyramid. I've even joked around and said, well, maybe they were spaceships from the aliens that came here that either crashed and landed there and either can't leave or will leave when it's time for them to leave. But it's got to be amazing. Like I said, it's got to be amazing. You walk down into your basement or walk down into a room that you're working on, you smash the wall and you find miles of civilization that we just built over. We didn't tear it down. We just filled the holes and
look at the subway system. The major cities like New York and so forth, they're built on top of other cities. Mm-hmm. So you go into the subway and go behind go into the employee's own entrance, and you go down into history, into the subways.
Yeah,
I just find that stuff very, very interesting. I
really wonder if, like you just said, that's how they did it. They went down underground until they found a tunnel. And when they found a tunnel, they just made it big enough for them to use to lay track and do whatever. And they kept going. And then they found another one. And, it's too bad if that's true that they didn't report what they found before they made the subway, because it's all probably locked up in the Vatican. And I hate to knock my Christian friends, only because I'm sure that I could never understand and appreciate what is locked up in the basements of the Vatican.
Besides all the gold?
Gold and wealth doesn't necessarily mean anything to me, because wealth to me just means it allows you to do what you want to do. Not necessarily what other people can't do, but it allows you to do what you want to do. If I got $100 bazillion million sitting in the bank, I can do things that you can't do.
How many dollars?
and Elon Musk talking about $45 million a day until
a month.
Okay, well, $45 million a month into the Republican National Committee to make sure Republicans get elected and Trump gets elected in November is just crazy. And side of my brain says, is he trying to buy the election?
I think he's trying. I think he's trying to probably trying to buy a position within the Trump administration. Let's face it, a lot of his money, Musk money, is based on his electric vehicles, besides his space going to Mars thing. But and Trump hates electric vehicles. He's made it quite clear that he hates electric vehicles. Okay, so perhaps by him saying about $45 million a month to them is his way of making sure that Trump doesn't go against his livelihood. I mean, you figure that's a lot of money to lose if Trump is successful and shutting down the whole electric car industry.
There's rumors that he's taking Tesla and going to start moving toward hydrogen-powered vehicles as well.
You know what? Water-powered vehicles, I've seen it. Back in the 70s, I heard about them.
Well, hydrogen. He didn't say water. He said hydrogen.
Oh. Well, that's a guess, right? Hydrogen.
The water-powered vehicle, from what I heard, they whoever they are, they took him away from us because they couldn't have that. You can't have a vehicle that on 28 gallons of water can travel around the world. They're not going to put up with that. But by the same token, they shouldn't have stood back and allowed Joe Biden to say, "I'm going to shut down the Keystone Pipeline, and gas is going to quadruple in price," and then get COVID and run away from everybody and not be able to have someone ready to step up. But I don't know.
You know what I find very interesting. Find very interesting is that we're not hardly hearing anything about Trump's would-be assassin, his family.
He's dead.
Well, no, I'm talking. I'm talking about his mom, his dad, and his sister. As far as them,
well, they're probably locked up. Not locked up, but they're probably very well protected right now. By who? I don't want to venture to guess because I just don't want to venture to guess.
And the other thing too, they keep showing this picture of him from high school. Why are they showing his high school picture when there's actual other pictures from his Facebook profile and so forth that doesn't paint him into a pretty picture of the way he looks? He almost looks feminine, like he's transgendering. Some of the ones I've seen, but they're always showing the one from high school, this sweet innocent kid.
Well, because they don't want you to think that it was some kind of a monster. If they're trying to use him to recruit the next one, they don't they don't want a monster. They want somebody who thinks they're doing the right thing. But I don't know. I did read yesterday and today that Kimberly Cheatle, the Secret Service director, is in no way going to resign. As she says, she thinks the agency should learn and I guess move forward. And I don't know what that means. Haven't heard anything from Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas, who is her boss because the Department of Homeland Security owns the Secret Service, other than he's going to take over the investigation. But the more I think about it, is like I said last night, it's going to be rinse, wash, repeat, regurgitate for me.
Yeah.
The more I look at it,
we're not getting the truth.
We're never going to get the truth, because if the Department of Homeland Security takes over the investigation like this of one of their babies, we're never going to get the truth.
Yeah.
And all I want to know is if a sharpshooter says, "I have a clean shot," why it took 3 minutes to not get an answer, because half of the former Secret Service that are now celebrity analysts on anywhere that will put them on say they didn't have to wait, and the other half don't talk about it. So, my belief is that you would just do the shot and at least hope that ends the situation. Like I said last night, the night before, and I'm going to keep saying, we never know that if someone took the shot and took him out, whether or not there were other people strategically around, or whether or not there were even Secret Service agents that were sharpshooters that were going to start shooting.
I've been seeing some video.
It just took somebody who wasn't capable from even the close range he was at. Well, I guess he was, because if President Trump had turned his head a little bit more the other direction, again, we'd still be wearing black today.
Well, I've been hearing from different sources that they believe there were 2, possibly even 3 shooters. I don't know. I find that to be more of a stretch than anything. Hey, sweetheart. Oh. You want to be with daddy, huh? You want to be with daddy? Oh, it's not. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So, 3 shooters. I find that to be a stretch. But who knows? And again, we will never know.
We won't.
Unfortunately. All we know is that Trump survived, and hopefully it has solidified those who are on the fence about him to actually, stand with him shoulder to shoulder. And I don't know. At this point, the Democrats' only way, as far as I'm thinking, the only way the Democrats can win now is to somehow get the illegals to legally be allowed to vote in the election. That plus the students. I just saw on the news feed that they have they've taken several more thousand students off of the responsibility to pay back their loans. They said, "No, don't pay back your loans. We'll take care of them for you. Have a nice day." What they're doing is, I think, is they're trying to buy their vote by these students not paying back. It's, oh, well, you know what? They did do that. I shouldn't vote for them.
You're stupid, because they're going to tell you don't have to pay back your student loan. They're going to lose the election, and your elected representatives in your state, plus your representatives and your senators going to Washington, D.C., are going to come home and tell you now, under the Trump administration, you have to pay that money back. Because regardless of how that money's not tax money. That money is money that you borrowed from some source that the government said that if you don't pay back, the government will. There's no way, I'm sorry, but you can't tax people who are overly taxed now and make us pay for your going to school. And if you do, I mean, I don't care if you're a brain surgeon and you just haven't paid back a dime of your student loans that are now, say, $1 million that you owe. I'd be very happy to start paying taxes and pay it back, but I'm going to take away your license to practice in whatever state you're in. I'm going to take away your degree until you pay me back. And then when you pay me back, I'm going to make you refresh your degree before we give you a license. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I wonder how they're choosing which students to pay off their loans for.
Yep.
I know there's one of the things that the students have to already have done is made a certain number of payments on the loan, and once they get that certain number of payments made, then they can kiss goodbye all the rest of their student loan.
I don't even agree with that. I just think that, say you got $1 million student loan at 20% interest until you pay it off. So that means, in theory, I guess you're going to pay back $1,250,000, and you're going to pay it back at $1,250 a month until you pay it off. If that's too much, say now you've paid off all but $500,000 of it. Refinance that $500,000 at today's rate, which is hopefully less, and it's going to cut your payment down to where you can live and you continue paying it. Because, I mean, you do it with your car, you do it with your house, you do it with every other bill you have in life. So why can't you do it with your student loan? My biggest problem is, I had a good friend who was a customer of mine in Massachusetts who I believe actually owned a student loan agency. And I still will always say, if President Biden came into me and I owned my own student loan agency and I've got $1 trillion out in student loans, and all of a sudden you say they don't have to pay me back, I'm going to be looking at going, well, they don't have to pay me back, but you co-signed this loan, and you're not getting out of that. You're not getting out of that $1 trillion that you owe me and co-signed whatever, because I got to feed my family. I got to pay my shareholders. I've got to no. It just no. And even it's like, Nancy Pelosi kept telling him when she was Speaker of the House, you can't do this. You can't do this. And from what I understand, she's even calling for him to step down.
Yeah. And they're finally ready to get rid of him. It's just a matter of him saying, okay, yes, my time's up. I'm going to walk out. And he leaves. That's where he's at. The people don't want him. The people around him don't want him. His wife wants him to stay in because for some reason she's getting something out of it besides that, a nice home to live in.
Well, I mean, it's power. I think it's clearly elder abuse, but that's not what any of them are going to admit to. But it's the power that they have through him being the president, either they are telling him what to do or he's just doing it, and it's sick. It's just sick.
It's sick. Do first ladies get paid? Do they take the paycheck?
No, they don't get paid. But I believe that the office of First Lady gets some money to operate on, but they don't get, and she gets a staff.
Right,
they get paid, but no, as First Lady, she does not get paid.
So she's only getting the power of the title of being First Lady,
right? And you have whatever power a president may give you, like Bill Clinton, when he was president, turned healthcare reform long before the Affordable Care Act, anything Barack Obama did, over to Hillary Clinton. And, whether or not she did anything good with it, I really can't tell you. But, so you get projects and things that you're responsible for. You always see them in the schools, doing something, but lately, no, I'm sorry, you don't get paid to change your husband's diapers. That's just something that you do. But I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know either. I mean, I could sit here and look at I just saw something pop up on my screen about some wooden structure that was found They're going to come on. Huh. Democrats want Kamala Harris off the ticket as well.
They do. But they, and no one seems to believe me when I've been saying this, because what I've heard all along since they first talked about getting Joe off the ticket, and even before that, was that they believe that she is far more left than he is. And while that may be a good thing for them, it's not what they want. I personally think to make Joe Biden step down, resign from the presidency, use the 25th Amendment right now would be the biggest mistake they have. Because, yes, it puts Kamala Harris in as president. She may end up being their nominee. But personally, there's no way she's going to win. I mean, honestly, in 2020, I think the biggest mistake the Republicans made was when the Democrats said, get out of here. They just packed up and left. If they had said, hell no, we're not leaving, we're staying here, I think the results would have been different. And I think, it's like Michael said the other night, Wednesday night, you guys got to, we got to be ready. We got to camp out at the ballot boxes. We got to camp out at the polls. We got to watch the polls. What's the word I want? In Massachusetts, the Republican Party and Republicans used to do, I forget what it was called, but it was like a carpool service where people would pick up anybody who couldn't get to a poll, people like me who might not be able to get to a poll, and made sure they got to a poll and voted. I usually voted by absentee ballot. I actually requested one and then would go in and pick it up and then complete it and turn it back into the city clerk's office. This is the election where, you got to make sure your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin, everybody that is registered Republican gets to the poll and votes. There's a guy in Arizona. I have to go back, and I have to keep saying I'm going to go back and look, but he evidently is some kind of legislator in Arizona, and he has been telling illegal immigrants who have Arizona driver's licenses, if you cannot show that you're an American citizen along with that Arizona driver's license, and you can't get a federal ballot, you make sure you come talk to me and I'll make sure you get one. From the moment that guy first said that, he should have been impeached, removed, done. You're gone. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. You may have a belief that every illegal immigrant in this country should be allowed to vote, but no. And the more and more, people say, look at what came in. Guys who look like they're military age and ready to fight. Bull crap. Guys came in that are military age that look like they're ready to fight, but most of them are old enough to vote or look like they're old enough to vote, and they're going to vote. And that's what the Democrats think is going to get Joe Biden reelected. And if you want that, you got to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm going through, as you're talking, I'm going through the newsreel here at the Studio 6 headquarters. And apparently the Ukrainians tried to take back some of their territory and actually invade into Russian territory, take some of their villages. But unfortunately, they were met with overwhelming force and lost over 1,000 soldiers in one day. So they had to, unfortunately, give up the turf and head back home. NCIS is returning for its 22nd year on TV. Can you believe that? 22 years.
I missed.
NCIS.
Yep.
22 years.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how some shows make it and some don't. Like, for example, NCIS offshot other NCIS programs, and some are on for a few years, like
I think
10.
I think people like that because it shows them things they wish their government was doing. Even like like you said, there's offshoots of all the other ones. There's Law and Order. There's Law and Order SVU. There was Law and Order Criminal Intent. There was. There were people that wanted to see and understand and be entertained. And like I've said again, going back before, I think Hollywood is 5 years ahead of us, showing stuff to us now that they're doing now because they either don't think we can understand it now, and they don't want to discuss it now. I mean, they want to go public with it, and then we're all going to go back when Congress is talking about this, and when a Congress is finally talking about the Trump attempted assassination in 2024. Everybody's going to be talking about, well, yeah, there was the episode of 24 with Kiefer Sutherland where, where he was.
What's this?
Well, no, I'm just saying there was an episode.
No.
Okay. There is supposedly, I don't remember what show it was. My daughter-in-law mentioned it to us, or mentioned it to me in conversation recently. It was my son mentioned it to us to me in conversation recently that I don't remember what show it was because I don't think I actually heard him say what show it was, that they're already working scripts for a presidential attempted assassination. No one's going to use Trump's name. No one's going to use the real names of
NCIS. Okay, NCIS has this is your Hollywood moment. NCIS is having a new spinoff. We were just talking about NCIS doing spinoff. Here's a new spinoff. Do you guys remember Tony from the original NCIS?
I didn't watch it very much, so I don't know it.
Shame on you! Oh my goodness, you're going to have to go into the bad boy room and watch the last 10 years of NCIS.
Why?
No, but
I'm in the Netflix room watching watching seasons of Blacklist that I never was able to watch.
Yeah, so
right now.
So it's NCIS. Says NCIS Tony and Ziva show will focus on Tony. So it's. I don't think so. She's going to play a part of a Russian. Anyway, the show is called NCIS Tony and Ziva. That's about Tony and Ziva. They're the two characters from the original NCIS program. They had this huge romantic thing on the show, and she had to go away. But if you guys like NCIS has a brand new spinoff. Watch it. It's called NCIS Tony and Ziva. I'm trying to find a start date for it. It's in production. Okay, a release date has not yet been announced. So I guess it's going to be maybe for this new season come January, maybe. But yeah, how about that?
Yep.
You never know.
You never know. The more you know, the more you know.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And even Facebook, the news feed is getting to be so much garbage. There's all these posts from like I love dogs as pets with a blue follow next to it. And then it's a post that has nothing to do with loving pets at all. It's like Whoopi Goldberg is saying that she's going to leave the United States of America if Trump is elected. And I just scroll by them now because it's like she's been saying that since 2015. And when Trump is elected in November, she's not leaving. She's not leaving. She has nowhere to go. I am sick and tired of the one that says that Elon Musk is going to buy ABC so that he can cancel The View. It's 100% bull excrement, for lack of putting it any better.
Wow.
What?
There's a second cell phone found at Trump's assassin's home. Wow, he had 2 phones. So what? I have 2.
No. The question is, what was the phone? Was it a burner phone between him and other people involved?
Well, unfortunately,
you won't find that in that article right now. You won't find it from the DHS investigation.
I'm gonna mute you for a minute so I can listen to the newscast. It's a audio thing. I'm gonna mute you so I can listen to it. I'll come right back.
You're gonna mute me on my own show? Well, while Randy has me muted, we're gonna go. We'll continue on. It is 11:07. You're watching Boogie with the Bull, Red Friday Morning Caffeine. It's Randy Rhodes and I this morning. Bill Muckler is on vacation. He will be back in early August, I believe. So we'll do a plug on Bill as Randy is looking up some things that we will discuss momentarily. I want you to go to the Bill Muckler Facebook profile, and I want you to look up the information on. I moved everything around on my desk yesterday so I could get to it during the broadcast, and now it's still worse. I can't get to it. 6 Soft Targets, the novel written by Bill Muckler. It reads like a version of the incidents that led up to 9/11, because I think that's what it was from Bill's point of view. Very easy reading, not difficult to understand concepts and people and characters as you go through. I personally think you should go to the Bill Muckler profile and order it. It is a $20 donation. It is a 300-page book. The type, as Randy said, is very easy to read. Other people have told me the same thing. I think you'll enjoy it. I've read the first 4 chapters. I have to try to read more over the weekend and through next week. I'm probably going to take it to Texas with me and read some of it on the plane if I can, and go from there. We will be discussing the book in greater detail weekly with Bill when he comes back. We'll discuss some of the chapters each week on the broadcast and not spoil the future ones for those who have not read it. Although at some point we may have talked about the whole book. Once we're done with 6 Soft Targets, I think we still will have about a year and a half, maybe 2 years before the sequel, which is going to be called Aftermath, comes out. And the story behind Aftermath is that evidently Bill had a folder of things that he wanted to include in 6, and it may have gotten misplaced. I'm not exactly sure. And then when he found it, it was too late. 6 had already been published. So he's been thinking about a sequel novel called Aftermath. I'm not sure if that will be Bill's last book or not. I hope it's not. He's going to celebrate his 89th or 90th birthday very soon. Still going 100%. He's the idea behind Red Friday Morning Caffeine, which again, you want to take a few minutes throughout the course of your day and just salute and think about everyone who has been deployed around the world to protect.
Are you the kind of guy that gets a headache? Are you the kind of guy that gets a headache reading a book while you're emotional, like in a car ride, something like that?
Sometimes the discipline to be able to sit and read a book is a little bit hard on my compromised brain.
I just I haven't had an opportunity to do it lately because I don't drive anymore. But I remember when I was a kid, and my dad would drive, and I would read a book. I would get such a bad headache. Uh, but it kept me busy for the 3, 4, 5 hours my dad's driving us to where we're headed. Um, my dad, he back in the day, he just drove every freaking where. And that's back, when it was maps, no GPS, nothing like that, no fancy things. It was by maps. And my mom would be the one with in control of the map, and she would tell my dad, "Turn here, run." Yeah, no, you missed a turn. Go around. It's like,
Yeah.
But
airplane. I can read a book.
Really?
It won't bother me because I have traveled and I have a tablet in my lap connected to the internet, and I can read that. So that won't bother me. And if it does bother me and I can't read it, then I'm sure I'll find some time when I will be able to hopefully finish 6 soft targets before we come back. Anyway, we're coming up on 11:15. I don't know what your plan is, Randy. I don't know if you had to leave at 11.
Yep.
I'm not trying to push you out in any way.
For sure.
I do want I want to take the last few minutes and say, hey, if you are watching Red Friday Morning Caffeine today with me and Randy Rhodes, take some time to think about Our Roads Lead to Home genealogy services. You see it here on Facebook. You hear about it on Winkin and other broadcasts. But take some time to think about this. What if there was someone who you could hire, and not for an incredibly expensive rate, to do the detective work for you and go through and find your history and the history of your ancestors and report back to you periodically when he found things that you want to know, and also I believe produce paper copies for you, or at least things that you can download and make paper copies of, and you would have the history. I mean, I think it would just be a great thing. So Randy has said that if you tell him that you watched on Boogie with the Bull or any other broadcast, you name them, that he might have been on, he will give you how
long? The neat thing is that if I take 30 minutes, sometimes I'll say an hour, okay, an hour for free. 1 hour can get me back into the 1500s, okay? It'll get me pictures, photos, documents, certifications, all the stuff that verifies your ancestors. I show it to you. I open it up to you. And if it's something that you feel that you can take advantage of and want to have for yourself, to have and hold and hug, whatever, then I sign you up. I'm like about $5 an hour. And the reason why my rates are so damn low is because I get disability checks every month. So that's where the bulk of my income comes from. And what money I make doing the genealogy is, putting some food on the table and, and maybe some books in my library. But I do it because I love it. Okay. There are folks out there who will, I think like the idea I call it Ancestry. That's where I use 12 different services, Ancestry being one of them. They offered me their genealogist, right? $3,000 upfront to do a 16-page report. That's a hell of a lot of money. And I'm not even close to that. And I can offer you a whole lot more. And for example, right now I'm working on my one client who's, I won't give any information out, but the father is in poor health, and the father's trying to find his great-grandfather. And I have all the information that I need. I just got to put it all together to bring out this picture of who his great-grandfather is. And I think that's going to make him a very happy person. So that's what I can do. I can find out all kinds of stuff about your family, good and bad, whether you want to know about it or not. And that's what we always talk about at the beginning of the relationship. And that's what become a relationship. right now, while we were doing talking here, I was working on Shane Melvin's family tree. He's a client of mine, and he allows me to talk about him. And I'm working on his fifth great grandfather. And here, one of the fifth great grandfather's family members turns out to be a Boone, a Joshua Boone. And that means a lot of, yes. So now, Shane, I can add the relationship to Daniel Boone. But the big thing about that is guess what? Who else is related to Daniel Boone?
Randy Rhodes.
So that means that Shane is now no longer a client. Well, he's still paying me, but he's no longer a client as such. But now he is a third or fourth cousin. So I got to figure out how that had him into my family. But that's what happens.
One of these days, we're going to have a Boogie with the Bull broadcast that's just the Rhodes family, 7 at a time.
7 at a time.
7 at a time, and then the generation next from each of them, 7 at a time, because they're all on Facebook, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that's what I do, folks, and it's great. It's just a lot of fun. Ancestry has added a lot of new features. One of them happens to be a fact checker. So I pay an extra $11 a month, $10.59 and change a month for them to fact check me. So as I am doing my work, they're saying, yes, you're fine, you're good to go. Oh, nope, you have a mistake. That person does not belong here. Correct it. So I get fact checked, which is cool because that means
without you ever having to watch him live yelling at technology. For those of you that missed it yesterday, please go watch last night's Thursday Night Live because this piece of technology kicked me out of StreamYard about 17 times yesterday to the point where Randy had to take over. And he did a fantastic job. I did, in fact, go back and watch it. He did a fantastic job.
Cool.
Matter of fact, he did such a good job that before we end the broadcast,
I'm going to raise.
We're going to be gone in next week in Texas. I said to Randy, Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. if you want to jump in and use the slot. And
I will.
Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. if you want to jump in and use the slot. And 10 a.m. Friday morning, come back and use the slot if you want, as long as you mention RED Friday.
Yep.
I would highly appreciate it. And then maybe when I retire, Randy Rhodes can have it all.
Oh, Daddy, is that my inheritance?
Something like that.
Something like that, right?
Something like that. You can't have the technology because the technology has been promised to Hillary Clinton, who's going to have a big fair for Boogie with the Bull equipment, and she's going to charge people $1 a whack with a sledgehammer.
Yes, well, I have got to get going.
All right, Randy, always a pleasure.
Yes, it was a lot of fun today.
Well, and hey, no yelling and screaming at technology, except a piece of technology that we know does probably. I have to try one more thing with it. I did a bunch of resets on the Facebook live chat monitor yesterday. I may have to try one more reset on it and see if that helps. And if it doesn't, then we'll just go without it. But Randy, always a pleasure. Do you want to do it or you want me to do it?
Now you go ahead and do it.
Okay, well, let me see. Can I do it?
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Still here. Still here.
You're still here. Put your parachute on. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have to use a backup Chromebook, and the mice aren't working with it, so everything has to be done by hand. Hey, it was a great Friday morning broadcast. I want to thank Mama D. Denise was in the live chat watching, and Danny Campbell was in the live chat watching, and I'm not sure who else was in the live chat watching. Trying to get used to trying to keep the live chat going, and on I keep losing it on my phone because I get knocked out, so I don't get to see who is in there all the time. But we will keep this going. We will get it going. I don't really care. We're just going to do it as long as we can each day that we do it. So like I said, next week, Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, hopefully you'll see Randy Rhodes in doing something. And Tuesday and Thursday nights, 7 p.m., you'll see Randy Rhodes hopefully doing something. And Friday morning, you will see Randy Rhodes doing RED Friday Morning and a bunch of something else's, hopefully. And I'm taking some kind of technology with me that I will at least be able to be in live chat and watch. I just won't be on the broadcast. Might have to be my phone. I don't know. I'm going on vacation and told everybody that we're all going on vacation. Donna and I, and we're going to go visit family that we haven't seen in a year, and some family that we haven't even met yet. So I'm sure as the adulting grandfather, the first time our granddaughter is put in my hands, I'm going to be saying, oh, no more boogie with the bulls. I just want to sit here and watch her and her brother and our son and daughter-in-law continue to grow. So, Denise, you have a fabulous weekend. We're still here over the weekend. We leave Monday. I'm taking off because we have to do packing and other stuff. And Saturday, we have to go do an errand. So, anyway, I appreciate everybody who watched today. And like I said, be nice to Randy next week. And we will go from there. Make sure you read up and you watch and you understand what is going on around you, and you think about it, and you speak for yourself. Again, don't let anybody tell you what you need to think and what you need to do and how you need to do it and this and that and the other things. You are you, and you have a right to be you. So speak for yourself, how you want to speak, when you want to speak, and I wish you the best when you do that. Unfortunately for me, 62 years old, Lewy body dementia, sometimes I can't get the words out of my mouth. So if you're around me and I stop for a second, kind of guide me through. Throw what you think I wanted to say. And I'll work hard on not getting mad when someone hits me with something that I didn't want to say, and just keep going. And that's about all I can say. There will come a time when I won't be able to do this anymore, only because you don't pay enough to be entertained every time we do it. But no, I'm here. I enjoy doing it. I hope people watch it, enjoy doing it. We were live on the Dave Glovin profile. We were shared into, 6 billion Facebook groups this morning. 27 shares with 14 people watching. Let me see if it goes up. 88 people watching. 14 shares. 28 shares with 28 shares with 88 people watching. It's fantastic. Anywhere between 1 share and 100 shares makes me happy. Over 100 makes me very happy. If you want to take the broadcast while you're watching it, put it on your profile for other people to see. You want to share it in groups that you think it should be in, let me know. If you are sharing it in groups that are not political, because you might have a right to do that. Actually, you do have a right to do that. If you share it into groups that are not political and their topic is something else other than politics, then hey, let me know that group, the name of the group, and what you do in that group, and we'll make sure we cover things for that group, as well as politics. With Randy and I, Jen and I, Randy, Jen and I, William, Randy, Jen and I, Michael and I, it's going to start with politics, and then it's going to go around the world of everything else, and then it's going to come back to politics. When David Novar is in the house and I'm yelling and screaming and pulling out what little hair I have left over technology issues, it might be about technology. Matter of fact, if people want to get together on a Thursday, if people want to get together on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday morning, even if Randy takes over Monday and Wednesday, and talk about technology, or do it on another one, or maybe when there's time and the availability to do a rare Saturday morning boogie with the bull and talk about technology and that kind of stuff and other stuff that is not political, we can do that too. Anyway, we're coming up on 11:30. And that means that it will be about an hour and a half. I want to thank you for the privilege of letting me abuse your time. And I hope we were gentle. I hope you learned something. I hope we got you thinking about things. Uh, if there are things that you see that you read during the week, articles that you read that we might want to include in a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, please send them to me and we will look at them. And if we can flash them on the screen, we will. If it is video, we read it, we look at it. I have people who consult me to make sure that it's fair use before we send it up because Facebook will decide that it's a copyright violation long before they agree with me that it's fair use. YouTube, on the other hand, has been pretty understanding, I guess, lately that if it is fair use, they don't seem to bother me, which I'm surprised. Go over to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel anytime you get and watch the history of Boogie with the Bull broadcasts over there. Uh, and you're more than welcome to take them and share them in your Facebook groups and off of Facebook and other places to hopefully get people to watch and subscribe and like the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. We're not trying to make any money off of this, but on YouTube, if you get 1,000 people to watch 4,000 hours, we start getting pennies from YouTube. 50,000 people watching 180,000 hours, which still is not a lot to do considering the number of hours that we have Boogie with the Bull broadcast going every week. We could get some pennies from Facebook. I'm not going to TikTok. I'm not going to TikTok. I'm very happy with people that are using TikTok, and I guess having fantastic results over TikTok that are making money over on TikTok. Congratulations, and I hope it continues for as long as it continues. We're here on Facebook. We're here on YouTube. We're trying to be over on Street Lock as often as we can live. We're trying to get the kinks out to be over on Wimkin as often as we can. We are trying to remember to either be live on Truth Social when we can, or at least get the podcast over there. We are no longer on at Boogie WT Bull over on X because now you have to be a X premium customer, which costs $11 a month to be able to link to wherever they allow you to do it over on X, and I don't want to pay it. So we're going to deal with Facebook. We're going to deal with YouTube. We're going to add Rumble in August, and we'll spend a little bit more time getting us posted everywhere we can via Rumble and Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, and see what we can do. We're not leaving Facebook until they decide I'm leaving Facebook. We're not leaving YouTube until they decide I'm leaving YouTube. And we're just going to add to it because rather than keep social media network hopping from one to another and confusing everybody, we just want to add everybody. If we can be on 200 social media networks and hit a bazillion people every morning, that's what we would do. So have a great weekend, as Mama D says, and do become a member of our Facebook groups. Right now, there are so many. There are so many new ones that were added to get through the election and help steer Trump supporters and MAGA supporters into those groups that you should join some of them. Stand with Trump is just over 1,000 members. Donald Trump with the red and white flag stripes that says Donald Trump on the profile picture is holding at a little over 3,500 on its way to 4,000, 5,000 before the election, maybe a whole lot more. Go look at that one. Conservative Freedom Defenders with Art Sessa has been under 1,000 members for too long. Okay? If you know Art Sessa, the group owner on Facebook, and you know me, an admin of the group for as long as it's been around, go over there and take a look. Like the name says, it's a great place for conservative freedom defenders to read, post, and comment and be involved in the discussion. And Art would like to see it grow to 1,000 members before the election and 10,000 members after the election. And if anybody can do it, Art Sessa and the admin team in there can actually do it. So go look at Conservative Freedom Defenders. If you see a post in the Facebook newsfeed with the name of any group, for example, RED Patriots for America, if you see a post that will take you to RED Patriots for America, and the comments on it are, yes, I did in fact invite you. Understand, I did in fact invite you. Go over there, take a look around, and if you agree with the group and want to be a part of the group, accept your invitation, start posting it in the newsfeed and inviting your friends, and we'll grow that group. And if you get too many invites from me and you don't want to be in all of the groups that I'm inviting you to before the election, let me know, and we'll stop inviting you. But right now, there are probably 100 groups off the top of my head that I'm in as an admin or know the admins and group owners, and we're all working hard trying to build groups. So I'm going to send out a bazillion posts with invites and tell you that I invited you, so you don't have to worry about whether or not it wasn't me. And if you have any question, message me on Messenger, and I will confirm that I did in fact send you an invitation. Anyway, I'm Dave Glovin. You're not. It's 11:33. Go have lunch. Go have brunch. Go have breakfast. Go have whatever you want to call it. We did feed Delilah and Lola before we sat down to do RED Friday Morning Caffeine. Looks like Lola ate. Doesn't look like Delilah ate, but she gets kind of moody, and it's a 12-year-old Chihuahua. Sometimes she will sit and eat. Sometimes she wants to be moved around to a different place in the room. If the fan's on, which is where her plate is, she'll stay away from there. If I'm bouncing around on the table here, she'll stay away from there. So we'll go make sure that she eats. Anyway, Robin Sachs, thank you for watching. Danny Campbell, thank you for watching. Danny Campbell is now one broadcast ahead of William Grant for having watched the most Boogie with the Bull broadcast. Mama D, always a pleasure to have you watch. And like I said, unfortunately, we haven't figured out how to maintain the live chat monitor on Facebook right now. I did 3 resets on that one monitor yesterday, and that didn't seem to help. So I may just have to shut it all down, reset it, factory reset it, start it all again, and see if that works. And if it doesn't, then we'll do our best watching the live chat from my phone and the StreamYard screen here. I still think StreamYard is the best live streaming application that you can use, because the problems that we are having are not with StreamYard. It's just technology on our end and what we're going to do with it. So anyway, go out there and make it a fantastic weekend. Make sure you call your mother, because I haven't called my mother in the last 2 days. So make sure you call your mother, maybe call your brother, and talk to them and make sure everything is okay with them. And that's about all I have to say on that. Let me see. We're going to slide this one up and hit that one. There we go. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. This is the part of the program where I tell you you have been watching Boogie with the Bull RED Friday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company, who apologizes for any technical problems that we had today, as well as any copyrights that we might have violated. And if we did, in fact, violate your copyright, come on and tell us your point of view and how we might have used it wrong. Because if we used your copyrighted stuff today, which I don't think we did, but if we did use your copyrighted stuff, come on and have a discussion with us, what you meant with it and how you think we used it, and we'll correct it all as soon as we can. Like I said last time, I'm going to say this before we go. No Boogie with the Bull, 10 a.m. broadcast Monday morning caffeine with me. Hopefully Randy Rhodes will be on. Tuesday and Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Hopefully Randy Rhodes will be on. Friday morning caffeine. Hopefully Randy Rhodes will be on. It doesn't mean that I won't be watching. It just means that I won't be on the broadcast with you. So please be gentle to Randy. He does a fantastic job when he is available. Like I said, last night he saved the broadcast because I kept kicking myself out of StreamYard, having to wait to get a code to get back in, to then get back in, to only kick myself out again. It looks like the old Chromebook, the backup Chromebook, is working and working very well. I just have to be a little softer and use it a different way. We also have the Windows 10 tablet with its own docking station that may get thrown up on the desk after we get back to be the live chat monitor for Facebook and other places. The Blue Snowball mic is working, and I'm very happy with that. If our audio craps out again, please let me know. If you see any other problems during the broadcast, please go into the live chat if you're watching, you're on Facebook, and tell me and let me know. And I will work hard on hopefully not yelling and screaming and shutting the broadcast down. Sometimes you just have to do that. Sometimes you do just have to shut down StreamYard and start again and hope the problem goes away. I don't really like doing that because when I'm stressed and trying to push it, it takes longer than it needs to, and I make more mistakes, and eventually we got to shut it down again. Anyway, it's time to shut it down, and I'm hungry. I want to go have breakfast. So double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to end an hour and 37 minutes. 7 minutes, a little bit longer. Go to Bill Buckler's page, buy 6 soft targets, then look at the 2020 books and do that. And on that note, my friends, double V's for victory.